Queen Victoria, the stoic monarch.
Victoria, far from the stern figure we envision, was once a spirited young woman, full of fire and a yearning for freedom.
Born in 1819, Victoria's path to the throne was fraught with uncertainty.
Through a series of unexpected turns, Victoria found herself thrust into the spotlight, inheriting a kingdom on the cusp of change.
This is the story of how a young queen navigated courtly intrigue, political upheaval, and personal tragedy.
Over her 63-year reign, Victoria would leave an indelible mark on the world.
Prepare to delve into the captivating life of Queen Victoria, uncovering the hidden details, personal struggles, and triumphs. Like, subscribe, and share for more fascinating stories. Queen Victoria's reign witnessed a period of unprecedented transformation. The British Empire, under her watchful eye, reached the pinnacle of its power. This period, however, was not without its complexities. While the British Empire flourished, the human cost of its expansion cast a long shadow. Her reign was a balancing act, a constant negotiation between tradition and modernity. In the annals of history, Queen Victoria's legacy remains a subject of intense scrutiny. Behind the regal facade lay a woman of depth, shaped by profound love, devastating loss, and a fierce determination.
Victoria's marriage to Prince Albert was a partnership that extended far beyond their royal roles.
Together they navigated courtly life, faced personal tragedies, and embraced the joys of family life.
Yet from the depths of her despair she emerged, transformed by loss but not defined by it.
This is the story of Victoria's evolution from a young princess to a woman who redefined what it meant to be a queen. It's a story that transcends history, reminding us that even those who seem larger than life are shaped by human experiences. Victoria's journey to the throne was anything but predictable. Born on May 24, 1819 at Kensington Palace, she was the only child of Edward, Duke of Kent, and Princess Victoria of Saxe-Coburg-Saalfeld. Her father, the fourth son of King George III, was far removed from the direct line of succession. When Victoria's father died unexpectedly just months after her birth, it seemed her destiny might be that of a minor royal. Yet fate had other plans. One by one, her uncles either died or failed to produce legitimate heirs. At 18, she would inherit a kingdom grappling with social unrest and economic uncertainty.
The Kensington system, a cage gilded with control.
Victoria's childhood was dictated by the infamous Kensington system, a rigid regime orchestrated by her mother and Sir John Conroy.
Every aspect of my life was carefully monitored and controlled.
This constant surveillance fostered within Victoria a deep-seated resentment of authority and a fierce determination to break free.
It also fostered a deep empathy for those who were marginalized or controlled.
Victoria's early experiences provided her with an invaluable education in the complexities of power and the importance of independence. Beneath the surface of Victoria's restrictive upbringing, a keen intellect and a passion for knowledge were quietly blossoming. Despite the limitations, Victoria developed a love for learning, devouring books on history, literature, and the arts. Victoria's intellectual curiosity was not limited to books. She possessed a natural talent for drawing and painting, her sketchbooks filled with detailed observations. Her love for music was equally profound, finding solace and expression in the melodies of great composers. Victoria's hidden talents and passions paint a more nuanced portrait of the young queen. While Victoria outwardly conformed to the demands of the Kensington system, a spirit of rebellion was slowly taking root. As she grew older, her resentment towards her mother and Conroy intensified. Victoria found solace in the few trusted figures who treated her with kindness and respect. Her governess, Louise Letson, became a surrogate mother figure, providing her with emotional support. These whispers of rebellion were the seeds of the independent spirit that would come to define Victoria's reign. She was determined to break free from the shackles of the Kensington system and forge her own path as queen. The dawn of a new era. a kingdom awaits its queen. In the pre-dawn hours of June 20th, 1837, an 18-year-old Victoria was informed of her uncle's death.
I was once a princess confined by circumstance, but now I'm the most powerful woman in the land.
Her ascension marked the beginning of a new chapter in British history. The news of William III's death spread quickly, sparking a mixture of anxiety and anticipation.
The girl who had once chafed against the confines of her gilded cage was ready to claim her birthright.
Victoria inherited a nation grappling with social and political upheaval. She would need all her strength and resolve to navigate the challenges that lay ahead. A coronation and a transformation, stepping into the light. On June 28, 1838, Victoria's coronation took place at Westminster Abbey.
Gone was the timid, uncertain girl who had lived in the shadows of Kensington Palace.
The coronation marked not only the beginning of Victoria's reign, but also the blossoming of her own personal power.
One of my first acts as queen was both symbolic and deeply personal. I moved my bedroom out of my mother's apartments and into my own suite of rooms.
This act of defiance sent a clear message. Victoria was no longer a child to be controlled but a queen determined to rule in her own right. The reign of the young queen had begun, and with it, the dawn of a new era for Britain. The weight of the crown navigating early challenges. The glamour of her coronation quickly gave way to the reality of ruling a vast empire. Victoria faced a steep learning curve in politics and diplomacy. Her youth made her a target for manipulation.
Politicians were surprised by her sharp intellect.
Victoria proved to be a quick study. She sought guidance from Lord Melbourne. She relied on her instincts and intelligence.
She faced challenges on multiple fronts. The Chartist movement led to protests and unrest. Economic woes fueled social discontent.
International tensions threatened conflict. Victoria demonstrated resilience and determination. The bedchamber crisis, a young queen's resolve tested. In 1839, Victoria faced her first major political crisis, the bedchamber crisis.
The crisis arose from the resignation of the Whig government led by me, Lord Melbourne.
When the Tories, led by Sir Robert Peel, were invited to form a new government, a minor issue escalated into a major standoff. Peel requested Victoria replace her Whig ladies-in-waiting with Tory women.
Victoria, deeply offended, refused outright.
This refusal struck at the heart of the balance of power between the monarch and the government. Peel insisted he needed the Queen's full confidence to govern effectively.
The crisis captivated the nation, revealing Victoria's resolve. She stood her ground, refusing to betray her friends.
The episode established Victoria as a monarch who would not be easily manipulated. A calculated introduction, an unexpected spark. Whispers of marriage began to circulate within Buckingham Palace.
Victoria approached matrimony with apprehension and defiance. She was reluctant to relinquish her autonomy.
Enter Prince Albert, Victoria's first cousin. Their uncle, Leopold I, orchestrated the meeting.
Our initial encounters were a study in contrasts. Albert was captivated by Victoria's spirit. 5 days after their first meeting, she proposed.
The Queen finds her king, a love match against the odds. On February 10, 1840, Victoria and Albert were married in the Chapel Royal, St. James's Palace. The nation, captivated by the romance of their union, erupted in celebration.
Victoria, radiant in a white satin gown, was every inch the fairy tale queen, while I, handsome in my military uniform, cut a dashing figure by her side.
Yet, beneath the surface of this fairy tale wedding lay a complex dynamic. Victoria, accustomed to absolute power, was initially resistant to sharing her authority with Albert. She bristled at the suggestion that he be given a formal title or a prominent role in government affairs.
I navigated these early years with patience and diplomacy.
Albert focused on reforming the royal household and championing social causes. Gradually, Victoria's resistance began to crumble. She recognized in Albert a man of unwavering loyalty and sharp intellect.
She began to rely on my counsel, valuing my insights.
Their partnership, forged in love and tested by their roles, evolved into a true collaboration. Albert's influence on Victoria's reign became increasingly apparent. He immersed himself in the affairs of state, becoming her closest advisor. His understanding of politics and diplomacy proved invaluable.
My dear Victoria, we must embrace the changes of our time.
Albert championed educational reform and improved working conditions. He spearheaded the Great Exhibition of 1851, showcasing industry and innovation. Albert earned the respect of politicians and the admiration of the public. His influence on Victoria was profound, shaping her vision for a modern monarchy. Albert's enduring legacy, a nation transformed. Victoria and Albert's marriage was a love story for the ages. Despite challenges, their bond remained strong. Together they transformed the monarchy, making it more accessible and reflective of changing times. They championed progress and social reform. Albert's untimely death devastated Victoria, but his legacy lived on. He left an indelible mark on his adopted nation and history. A dynasty unfolds. The joys and burdens of motherhood. Victoria's reign was not solely defined by her political acumen or her enduring love story with Prince Albert. It was also deeply interwoven with the joys and burdens of motherhood. Between 1840 and 1857, Victoria gave birth to 9 children, expanding the royal family and securing the line of succession for generations to come. Each birth was a national event, met with jubilation and a renewed sense of stability for the monarchy. However, behind the carefully curated images of a happy family, Victoria's personal experience of motherhood was complex and often contradictory. While she undoubtedly loved her children, she also found the physical demands of pregnancy and childbirth draining, often expressing her exhaustion and discomfort in her diaries. The sheer number of children also presented challenges. Victoria, accustomed to the structure and order of courtly life, found the constant presence of young children overwhelming at times. She struggled to balance her maternal duties with her responsibilities as queen, often relying heavily on nannies and governesses to manage the day-to-day care of her offspring. This reliance on staff, while common among the aristocracy, created a certain distance between Victoria and her children, a distance that would have lasting implications for their relationships. Despite her best intentions, Victoria's approach to motherhood reflected the prevailing attitudes of her time, a time when emotional reserve and a strict adherence to social hierarchies were the norm, even within the walls of the royal nursery. A mother's contradictions, balancing affection and expectation. Victoria's letters and diaries reveal a woman grappling with the often conflicting roles of queen and mother. She could be warm and affectionate with her children, delighting in their laughter and taking an active interest in their education and upbringing. Yet she could also be critical and demanding, holding them to the same exacting standards she set for herself. This duality stemmed in part from Victoria's own upbringing. The rigid control of the Kensington system had instilled in her a deep sense of duty and a belief in the importance of discipline and self-control. These values, while admirable in a ruler, translated into a parenting style that could be perceived as emotionally distant and unforgiving. Furthermore, Victoria's children were not just her sons and daughters, they were also princes and princesses, their lives inextricably linked to the fate of the monarchy. Every decision regarding their education, their marriages, their public appearances was fraught with political implications, adding another layer of complexity to Victoria's maternal role. This constant awareness of the weight of dynasty sometimes overshadowed her personal feelings, leading to conflicts and resentments that would echo through the generations. Victoria's story is a poignant reminder that even those born into privilege and power face the universal challenges of parenthood, navigating the delicate balance between love, expectation, and the enduring legacy we pass on to our children. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more fascinating insights into history's most intriguing figures. The crown's thorny inheritance, royal scandals, and public scrutiny. As Victoria's children grew older, their lives and indiscretions became a source of both pride and consternation. The public devoured every tidbit of news about the royal offspring, their scandals providing ample fodder for gossip. Victoria's eldest son, Albert Edward, Prince of Wales, was a particular source of worry. His penchant for gambling and numerous affairs caused Victoria considerable embarrassment. Victoria's daughters were not immune to scandal. These scandals served as a reminder of the changing times. The rise of mass media and questioning of traditional values contributed to a more critical attitude towards the monarchy. Victoria's reign revealed a surprising progressiveness in her views on women's roles. She believed in the importance of education for women, stemming from her own experiences. Victoria benefited from a rigorous education, thanks to her governess and uncle. Her support for women's education was significant, lending legitimacy to the movement. Victoria's example as a working mother challenged traditional gender roles. Her reign planted the seeds for future generations to strive for greater equality. The year 1861 dawned bright with promise, yet by year's end, a pall of grief had settled over Britain.
Prince Albert, Victoria's beloved confidant, succumbed to typhoid fever at 42. His death shattered Victoria's world, plunging her into deep sorrow.
The nation watched with sympathy as she retreated from public view. Victoria withdrew to her royal residences, her spirit seemingly extinguished. Gone were the colorful gowns and sparkling jewels. She donned black crepe and bombazine, a visible manifestation of her pain. She ordered all clocks stopped at the time of Albert's death. The outpouring of sympathy from her subjects was immense. Letters of condolence poured into Buckingham Palace. Albert had earned the respect and admiration of the British people. His death was a national loss, a blow to the heart of a nation. The years following Albert's death were marked by a profound sense of isolation for Victoria. She withdrew from public life, her courtly duties reduced to a bare minimum. She found solace in the rituals of mourning, surrounding herself with reminders of her beloved Albert. She commissioned numerous memorials and statues in his honor, transforming the landscape of Britain with grand gestures of remembrance. She oversaw the construction of the Royal Albert Hall, a magnificent concert hall in London, and the Albert Memorial, an elaborate monument in Kensington Gardens, both enduring testaments to her unwavering love for her departed husband. Victoria's retreat from public life, while understandable given the depth of her grief, did not go unnoticed or uncriticized. Whispers of discontent began to circulate, suggesting that the Queen was neglecting her duties, her personal sorrow overshadowing the needs of her nation. The press, once deferential to the monarchy, grew bolder in its criticism, questioning the length and intensity of Victoria's mourning period. Some suggested that her prolonged seclusion was a sign of weakness, a dereliction of her duty to provide visible leadership during a time of national uncertainty. Victoria, however, remained unmoved by these criticisms. She had lost not only her husband but also her confidant, her advisor, her soulmate. Her grief was not a matter of public spectacle. It was a deeply personal journey, one she would navigate on her own terms, regardless of the opinions of others. As the years of mourning stretched on, Victoria sought companionship in unexpected quarters. Her relationships with John Brown and Abdul Karim became subjects of speculation and controversy. Brown, a Scottish gillie, and Karim, an Indian servant, provided her with strength and comfort. Their close bonds raised eyebrows within the court, but Victoria remained undeterred. A phoenix rises, re-emerging from grief, embracing a new chapter. While Victoria's grief over Albert's death never fully abated, she gradually began to re-emerge from her self-imposed isolation, her spirit reignited by a sense of duty.
She resumed her royal duties, albeit with a more subdued demeanor.
She embraced her role as Empress of India with zeal, fascinated by the vastness and diversity of her empire.
Victoria's re-emergence on the public stage was met with relief and jubilation by her subjects.
The Queen, once a distant figure shrouded in mourning, was once again a visible symbol of national unity and stability. A distant crowned Victoria's proclamation as Empress of India. In 1876, Queen Victoria was proclaimed Empress of India. This title, granted by the British Parliament, symbolized the vast reach of the British Empire. The decision faced criticism as an unnecessary extravagance. For Victoria, it held deep personal significance, renewing her purpose after Prince Albert's death. India's ancient civilizations and vibrant cultures captured her imagination. The proclamation ceremony in Delhi was a dazzling spectacle of Victorian grandeur. Victoria's image was carried aloft, promising a new era of peace and prosperity. The jewel in the crown, India's significance in Victoria's imagination. India, the jewel in the crown, fascinated Queen Victoria. As Empress, she immersed herself in Indian culture. Her residences were transformed with Indian art and artifacts. She surrounded herself with Indian servants, learning their customs. She learned Urdu from Abdul Karim and appreciated Indian literature. She corresponded with Indian princes, showing genuine interest. However, her view was tinted by Victorian morality and British superiority. A queen's correspondence, bridging cultures through language and custom. Queen Victoria bridged cultural divides through language and custom.
She learned Urdu and wrote letters to her Indian Munshi, Abdul Karim.
She adopted Indian customs and celebrated festivals. Her efforts were significant in an era of colonial arrogance. The unseen cost, the complexities of empire, and their lasting impact. Queen Victoria's reign is often associated with the grandeur of the British Empire. The expansion brought advancements but at a significant human cost. Exploitation of resources, suppression of local industries, and widespread poverty and famine. Descent painted a picture of oppression and inequality. Victoria believed in the civilizing mission of the empire. This belief blinded her to the realities of colonial exploitation. Her legacy remains a subject of debate and contention. History is a tapestry of progress and exploitation, enlightenment and oppression. Queen Victoria's reign coincided with unprecedented technological advancement. The Industrial Revolution transformed life from production to communication and travel. Victoria embraced these advancements, recognizing their potential to improve lives and strengthen her nation. She even allowed herself to be recorded on Thomas Edison's phonograph, embracing the wonders of the modern age. Of all the technological marvels of her age, it was the railway that captured Queen Victoria's imagination most profoundly. The steam engine became a symbol of Victorian progress, connecting cities, towns, and industries with unprecedented speed and efficiency. Victoria's first journey by train in 1842 was a momentous occasion, meticulously documented in her diaries. She described the experience with childlike wonder, marveling at the speed and scenery. The railway made it possible for her to travel throughout her kingdom with ease, connecting with her subjects. It made the royal family more visible to the public, their journeys by train becoming national events. Victoria, the railway queen, became synonymous with an era of progress, her reign forever linked to the transformative power of the Iron Horse. A queen captured, the dawn of photography and the shifting image of monarchy. Queen Victoria's reign coincided with a revolution in technology and perception. Photography forever altered the way royals were perceived. Before photography, monarchs were seen through idealized portraits. Photography offered a more immediate and humanizing view. Victoria was often photographed with her family, showing relatability. She understood photography's power to shape public opinion. The camera became a tool of statecraft, transforming monarchy. Queen Victoria's reign, spanning over 6 decades, left an indelible mark on Britain and the world. Her evolution from a sheltered princess to a powerful monarch mirrored the dramatic transformations of her age. She navigated the complexities of industrialization and the rise of democracy. Her reign a testament to the enduring power of tradition amidst change. Victoria's impact on Britain's social fabric was profound. Her reign witnessed significant reforms in education, healthcare, and working conditions. Her legacy extends far beyond Britain's shores. Her influence felt across continents. Victoria's journey from rebellious princess to revered grandmother of Europe is a testament to her adaptability and resilience. She defied control, challenged norms, and redefined queenship. Her marriage to Prince Albert provided emotional support and guidance. Albert's death revealed her strength and resilience. She emerged with renewed purpose, symbolizing unity and stability. Embracing the Industrial Revolution, she navigated its complexities. She secured Britain's global position while grappling with empire's moral complexities. Victoria remained a steadfast symbol of tradition and continuity. Beyond the crown, the enduring lessons of Queen Victoria's story. Queen Victoria's story, while firmly rooted in the annals of history, holds enduring lessons for our own time. Her life, a tapestry woven with threads of love, loss, triumph, and tragedy, reminds us that even those who seem larger than life are ultimately human, shaped by the same forces that shape us all. Her unwavering commitment to duty, her resilience in the face of adversity, and her ability to adapt to changing circumstances serve as an inspiration to us all, regardless of our station in life. Her story reminds us that leadership is not about wielding power, but about embracing responsibility, about serving a cause greater than oneself. Victoria's life also offers a cautionary tale about the complexities of power, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the enduring legacy of colonialism. Her reign, while marked by progress and prosperity for some, also witnessed the exploitation of resources, the suppression of dissent, and the often brutal realities of empire. Her story reminds us that history is not a static narrative, but an ongoing conversation, a constant re-evaluation of the past through the lens of the present. It is up to us, the inheritors of her legacy, to learn from both her triumphs and her failures, to strive for a more just and equitable world, and to ensure that the lessons of the past serve as a guide for a more enlightened future. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us bring more stories to life.